these low-cost games have the same, if not more replay value than the AAA games we've been getting. And I could make a whole other video talking about indie games as a medium, but right now, Balatro is really something that we need when the industry is just falling off. Imagine a genre where creators can express their visions and creativity through the world of gaming. A genre that has helped shape video games and kept them alive for all this time. What's up guys, my name is Broken Gaming 2087 and this is Indie Gaming. In this video, I want to go over three main topics. First, I'm going to explain what an indie game is. Then, I'm going to show examples of hit indie games. And finally, I'm going to explain how important indie games are to gaming as a whole. Let's get started. First, what is defined as an indie game? Well, there's not a clear-cut answer to this question. The definition of an indie game has changed repeatedly and has only been a mix between each other. Many say that indie games are games made by a studio without a publisher, hence the name independent game. Others say the budget or developer count defines it, or just a cute pixelated game that could be seen as an indie title. To make things easier, for this video I will be sharing indie games that do not have a publisher or a publisher that is dedicated to supporting small games, like Devolver Digital for example. Whatever the case may be, indie games have the most variety when it comes to their styles. They can range from pixelated and quirky to intense and over the top. So I don't blame people for not knowing the true definition of an indie game, since there are so many kinds out there. Still don't believe me? Do you know the 2023 Game of the Year winner Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, it's technically an indie game, believe it or not. The same as Hollow Miami and Honeypot. Wait, why did I write that? And also like Hades. And speaking of Hades, now I want to share some examples of great indie titles that set the tone for how important indie games can be, starting with Hades. Hades is a roguelike RPG that came out in 2020 by the studio Supergiant Games and was even nominated for Game of the Year, which is very well deserving. In this game, you play as Zagreus, the Prince of the Underworld. Your goal is to escape hell with the help of boons from the Olympian gods, upgrades for your arsenal, and much more. Hades offers a captivating art style, engaging fast-paced gameplay, and some of the best voice acting on the market.
Dear Aphrodite, the incomparable beauty of Olympus is less difficult to fathom having already met you. I'm so grateful to have earned your favor.
Treat me like white tees, don't get me dirty.
This game can keep you playing longer than most with the style alone. Many other indie titles within this genre share a similar feeling, such as Risk of Rain by Hopu Games and Vampire Survivors by Ponko. Roguelites have been perfected by indie devs ever since The Godfather of Roguelites, The Binding of Isaac was released, and they have only gotten better over time. Now I think it's about time that I stop talking about roguelites. So let's move on to a game that gives style a whole new meaning. Cuphead is a run and gun style game, widely known for its art style and difficulty. Released in 2017, developed by Studio MDHR, Cuphead took the world by storm with its unique and yet familiar art style that has never been done before. In this game, Cuphead and Mugman travel across different lands inspired by the cartoons in the 1930s to defeat several bosses and pay their debt to the devil. And trust me, your skills and reactions will be tested by dodging attacks and parrying projectiles to survive the many bullet hells coming your way. The biggest story to cover from this game is that the entire game was actually hand-drawn by a woman named Maya Moldenhauer while she was taking care of her daughter and being pregnant with her son. The entire game. You can't make this up. Cuphead not only shows how creative indie developers can be, but also their pure dedication to a project. With the number of indie games out there, only a handful have truly redefined a genre or even created a brand new one. and this next game hits this tremendous goal with flying colors. Five Nights at Freddy's is a sit-and-click horror game released in 2014 by a single developer and creative mind, Scott Cawthon. This game made a giant impact in the gaming world, with many content creators playing it for viewers and having them witness the next big horror game. In this game, if you someone don't know already, you play as a night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where the animatronics do indeed get quirky at night. With your cameras and 2 doors, you must survive until 6 AM and fend off the not so fun animals trying to stuff you in a suit. FNAF offers such a simple concept that no one has ever really experienced before, and is now seen as one of the most iconic horror games alongside Resident Evil, Dead Space, and Silent Hill. Now FNAF is seen as its own franchise, with books, spin-off games, merch lines, and even its own movie. These games are only just a few examples of how immersive, creative, and beautiful indie games can be. Despite showing how this genre has flourished into what it is today, the importance of it is not being as appreciated as it should be. And this leads me to my final point. Let me ask you a quick question. How much would you say the average price for these games costs? $60? $50? $70 at most, right? Try $25 for Hades or Cuphead, or $10 for Five Nights at Freddy's. How about a whopping 5 George Washingtons for Vampire Survivors? 14 Vampire Survivors can equal to 1 Modern Warfare 3, the new one. This is how indie games have shaped the industry, providing experiences worth the AAA price point for much less. They provide the value and quality that we expect from a $70 plus game. The gaming industry has slowly become a much scarier place. It's dealing with corporate greed every day, and people have no choice but to buy in on it. Massive corporations want nothing more than to make even more money no matter what. I have a saying or a quote that I use a lot when talking to my friends because I believe it's very much true, especially today. I say that gaming is a business, and since gaming is a business, it gets treated like a business. The big spending companies do not see you as a gamer. They see you as a customer. They do not see games as games. They see them as products. These companies want what will make them the most money and not what will be in our best interests. Of course, not every high-budget publisher or developer is like this. From Software and their latest title, Elden Ring, is the biggest example of this. A high-quality game set out to please their community and nothing less. Indie games do not take the route of greed. They follow their true passion and make games because they want to make something they care about. Not every indie title will be perfect, amazing, or worth looking into, but the genre itself is priceless. It still offers something that you cannot find anywhere else. They encapsulate and express the very most important thing about playing a video game: fun. As long as indie games are still being made, gaming will never die.
Get him, puppy.
Sinners plucked from hell to do God's dirty work. finding it hard to believe we're in heaven.